And then legal opinion, then in the next meeting, we can get it back from the attorneys.
Okay, can you state that again? Did you want a second opening or?
Yeah, I'm motioning to open the agenda.
And a second by Jackie? And,
Dave Kelly,
Yes.
Garfield Steele,
Yeah.
Craig Gillen, George Streamer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears, Dave Poyer,
So can we add on to or what?
Don Red Wolf Bear,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Uh,
Beef Randall,
Yep.
10 yes, 2 not voting.
Chair, committee, once again, this is a public meeting. I don't know what's so hard about using your mic, guys. It's not me you're doing it, I mean, it's not me that I'm doing it for, it's for the office that you're sitting in. And I just can't understand why it's so hard to hit that button and say that so you go on record. No, I don't know, guys, it just seems like the basic thing is, it's a public meeting, and then once again, you're gonna call, something's gonna come up legally, and you're gonna ask the secretaries, go back and get it verbatim. And then, so, all I'm saying is, please use your mic so that it could get recorded, your decision, yes or no, so that it'll be clear on the record if something does come up. That's all I'm saying, it's not for me, it's for the overall process. Thank you.
thank you, could you open this?
go ahead, Sonia.
I'm gonna make a motion to add the special diabetes program on opinion on the agenda, legal opinion.
Don't you just add it on and?
Yeah, we'll just add, I'm just adding it on.
Second.
We don't need a motion.
Cora had a legal opinion that she needed, Cora had a legal opinion that she needed added on too.
Yep, just add it on.
Add it on then.
So do we have to vote on that then?
Yeah.
I thought we just put
Add
it,
them on?
put them on there and then close the agenda.
Okay.
All right, well, yeah, the legal opinions
And then legal opinion
for,
for Cora,
for
with that.
special diabetes and.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put on the Little Bighorn celebration
And then the Little Bighorn celebration.
for the one and me.
Can we add the Teja or OPA Wichoti, the Children's Youth and Healing Camp?
No.
Is that the one in the Black Hills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that at the lead?
They didn't get their full amount right because they gave us the old last year's sheet. So what they were requesting was 10, we didn't give them that full amount.
I thought we gave them,
Last year we did.
we did last year, I think gave them 10. Plus we gave them some star quotes, right, Cora?
Yeah.
For the awnings.
So they only got 5.
Well, that's what they requested was 5.
Yeah, remember when she was online, she goes like.
Okay, we'll discuss that then.
All right.
Cubby.
What's it called?
The Teja or OPA Wichoti.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got a proposal here to keep this farm interaction that we, operation that we move forward. And I got the, kind of like a little budget right here, if the committee wants to continue with this project. So I want to add that on too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to close?
Motion to close. Motion to close.
Second.
Second. Jackie and Gar.
Dave Kelly,
Yes.
Garfield Steele,
Yeah.
Craig Gillen, George Streamer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears, Dave Poyer, Don Red Ghost Bear,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yeah.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Beef Randall.
Yep.
Ten yes, 2 not voting.
Okay, financial management manual. Steve Dunn, are you on?
I am, good afternoon, Chairman. So we've had various meetings with treasurer, comptroller, and others, and the manual that you have in draft form is the latest
Barely hear
version.
him.
We did receive comments from
Steve,
four.
could you speak up? We can't hardly hear you.
Sure. We did receive comments from 4 programs, and it's my understanding that the committee wants to go through the recommendations of the programs and then send the manual on to the tribal council with those amendments included. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let me get that. Are you using a screen in the room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need the shared screen?
I think I can start sharing.
Oh, that's good. Better
I don't think it's blocking me. So
I'm kind of referring to the
we
Constitution.
received a comment from Steve Wilson at Emergency Management, and I'll put that on the board.
Sorry to be for that request.
Can you all see that? Or do you need me to make it bigger?
I got a copy of that.
Can you guys see?
So it'll just be a check.
Must be good, nobody's saying.
Yeah, it's good.
It's okay? Okay, it says, my recommendations are directed to the system that is used currently and that has crashed a while back. It's been extremely frustrating trying to do daily business with financial services at a standstill. There must be backup systems and offsite systems with multiple firewalls that protect what we have. We shouldn't have to rebuild our systems every other week because of some BS. I see that as being one of the first steps in building a streamlined, protected process. We have in the past asked IT departments if they feel their systems are needing upgrading, and everyone feels they are running safe systems, and they reply with, of course, but they are not. So once again, there is tribal homeland security grants for cybersecurity and updating of computer systems. Our government system is not an individual point, so ensuring the weakest links are taken care of is a huge priority. The operating system requirements should be the first thing discussed in the updated manual. So I don't know if the treasurer is with you, or anyone from FAO about firewalls or backup systems or offsite systems for the IT, for the financial data. But that was a recommendation from Steve Wilson.
We had that discussion earlier, Steve.
You had that with the committee?
Yes, and IT.
And what was is there a need to include something in the manual?
They did talk about an end user agreement for all of the employees. I don't know if that would be in the manual or if that would be in the personnel manual, the financial management or personnel. Because we have to make sure that the employees are trained for IT security. And we do have off-site storage, but that last ransomware affected everything. And So I don't know if that needs to be in the system or I mean, in the manual. Maybe it should, but I do know that we need to include that in the personnel manual, that employees know that they should be more responsible with their computers because everything they do affects the tribe's member.
Did you read this one?
What we could just say is that FAO will maintain backup system for all tribal financial data. And it could say including off-site.
Yeah, I think adding off-site is good because of the things that happened in the building previously. That is one of the reasons why we do have off-site storage.
Okay, and then we could also, we can leave the end user agreement for the personnel manual, but I think the bigger issue here is not so much that individual people are doing something, but that it's the need for backup of the data so that we don't have delays, or what he says is a standstill.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
All right, I'll add that. Let me close this one.
These are the two I just now received.
Okay, the next one, we have Francis Big Crow.
Sun Rose.
This appears to be a recommendation to amend a prior version, the old manual, but there are 2 points. She wants the glossary of terms, and give me 1 second.
Those are two I just now received.
We really don't have a glossary of terms anymore. We have a chapter called definitions. So in the chapter on definitions, chapter 3, she would like a definition of the term itemized budget, because the Office of Child Care Fiscal Management Guide has a requirement for an itemized budget. The current manual, hold on 1 second, please. There is no definition of itemized budget, so I would be happy to include one. And then she does put in her letter, she cites an itemized budget. It says that their guidance cites an itemized budget as an appropriation obligation definition. Child care funds are issued annually with a 1-year obligation period and a 2nd-year liquidation or expenditure period in order to adequately document the tribe's intent to obligate child care funds. The word budget should be added to cover the requirement from the Office of Child Care's obligation terminology. I'm not really sure of the need for this amendment, but we can include a definition that says, to the extent a funding agency considers an itemized budget to be an obligation, the tribe, concurs with that determination. So in other words, it could be itemized budget for a program, shall constitute an obligation to the extent permitted by funding agency guidelines. Does anyone have a problem with that?
No.
Okay, her second is on indirect costs. It looks like she wants a cap, and again, she's referring to a chapter of the current manual, not the amended manual, but a cap on 15% indirect costs for her particular program. I guess a question for the treasurer, are we charging tribal programs more than 15% right now?
Yes, we're using our indirect cost rate that was put in place previously. And the only time, there are a couple programs where only being charged 15%. It depends on their funding agency, what is allowed through them. And they have to come to council and get a waiver for that lower amount, whatever it is. Like Transit does that every year on, I think, 2 of their grants. And other programs do that when they get grants that either don't allow indirect costs or have a lower rate.
Okay. So I think that we can make sure that we're clear that tribal council may approve a waiver, or not really a waiver, but a limitation on the indirect cost charged to a particular program if the funding agency sets a limit on indirect costs and the tribal council approves after, application by the department. Does that sound okay?
Question. Steve?
Yes.
This is Sonia. I know I was reading some of the recommendations coming from the programs on IDC, and I know some of them are only allowed to give a certain amount of IDC, like one was saying 15%.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about
Yeah.
right now.
And I remember at one time, the funding agency said we can only give 10% IDC. So that's what they had to give, and we had to talk about that because I think our IDC rate was higher than that. But according to the funding agency, they could only give that amount of indirect cost on that. I don't know if it was a grant or a
So I
fund.
think what we're discussing is making sure that there is a process for a program to come to council like Transit does annually and to get a cap on their tribal indirect cost rate. And that's what I would do with this recommendation.
Okay.
Does that sound okay to the committee?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all for this one. She attached some pages, but they're related to her 2 recommendations. Okay. The next one is from Reno Red Cloud. Let me put that up. He just did it in an email. So this is from Reno. And he said, can we add for revision a chain of command flowchart from current flow process for submission to standing committee? Maybe someone can explain that one to me.
I can't hardly hear you. Could you say that again?
Sorry, hold on one second. I don't know if there's a microphone problem. Let me try to fix it.
You just sound muffled, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Could this be turned up?
Give me 1 second. Let me try to fix that. Okay, is this any better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you a lot better.
Okay, sorry about that. There's a microphone problem. So he says, first, can we add for revision, a chain of command flow chart from current flow process for submission to standing committee? I don't know if that's referring to how a program gets an item on the agenda for a standing committee, or what that is. But maybe someone in the room understands what that suggestion is.
I think he's talking about the process for getting a check. And there is actually a flow chart for,
The process
The-
for submitting to committees.
okay, I think I see. Yeah, he's outlining the process of getting a check, but I think he wants a process similar to that flow chart for submitting to his oversight committee. Because like right now it's outlined when you go into, you submit a check, you take it to accounts payable, they stamp it in, and then they send it through to all of these places that have to sign off on it and approve it, and then it goes to the check writing. Oh, here he's outlining the process for a requisition. But I think he's asking for a flow chart for whenever they submit information to their committee. Like, they take it to their secretary, the secretary gives it to the chairman and puts it on the agenda, and then where it goes from there. That's what it looks like to me.
I feel like that's not really a financial management issue.
Right.
But maybe, I do think that some of his other comments are. So he says, I have some issues from OST program input items submittals to internal controls, OST account department, OST accountant staff. And he lists other things. And then I guess then the issues are, we need to give each financial and procurement department a time frame on streamlining this process so we can get requisitions, purchase orders, and checks in a timely manner. I do think that we have included a timeline in this revised manual.
Right.
Okay. So I think the timeline that we've included would address that concern. Maybe it is needed to reference all the financial management ordinances and resolutions. I don't necessarily agree with that because this will be a comprehensive update. If anyone feels differently, I just don't see the need to keep dragging all the old ordinance numbers along when this will be a comprehensive revision.
And I do have a question, Mr. Chair. You know, I think reading this, and I think probably other directors also kind of have that same concern, is that giving a time frame on streamlining the process so we can get requisitions, purchase orders, and checks in a timely manner. That's always a concern because I think we might have it in the financial management manual where we say, will you turn in your accounts payable on this day and you're not going to get a check back on this day. But a lot of times we don't follow that, and I think we have to be honest about it. You know, we don't get the checks back when we should, and those are the concerns we're hearing from our directors, a lot of our things like that. And I think Vito is touching on that process, and I'm sure we're going to probably hear from others in the same sense to how we change that. And I think you're saying it's in the financial management manual. So could you show us somewhere, where's that change at in that financial management manual? That we're gonna,
Okay, hold on.
that way we can see where we're changing it to make it what? More workable for the programs and FAO? What changed on it?
Hold on one moment, please.
Those are questions I have because we got to make sure that, this is where I think legislators, we need to make sure we make changes that are going to help both. Because right now, the way it's written, I don't think we're really following that. And that's where we're hearing a lot of the concerns coming from the program directors. So I just want to make sure that I want to see where exactly, what did we change for that process part.
I'd like to caveat on top of that. In several committees, that has been the concern, and I'd like to yield the floor to Ms. Bluebird because those were issues that were addressed in Finance Committee as well. And if the process is laid out, then why is the timeliness, the turnaround time so long? And is that assigning an accountant specifically for different committees? What can we do to streamline that so there's not a turnaround or there's not a wait for that? Because I know a lot of the directors who submit don't usually get the returns in a timely manner. So I'll yield the floor to Ms. Bluebird.
Thank you committee for allowing this time for us directors. I too have submitted some recommendations. I'm hoping you got those. But yes, you're correct, Ms. Spotify, and I guess I could speak for a lot of the directors on the timely receipt of checks, the timely receipt of purchase orders. I don't know what the answer is, I guess, as a director, but in viewing the financial management manual and you see all the signatures that's required on the document, is there signatures that don't need to be on the document and still be in compliance with the financial management manual? And I think when we talk streamlining, excuse me, I think when we talk streamlining, that's one of the ways I think we can do is just to make it more concise. There's so many signatures on there, and sometimes when we have to locate documents, we have to go to those different departments looking for our documents. So I guess streamlining, I think, would be doing away with some of the signatories, if that's possible.
I believe in the financial management manual that we've been working on, there was a timeline, because the process currently now is that they take something that's...
Can you turn that down a little bit? You can turn that down a little bit.
Okay, so the current process is that they bring in their accounts payable, they're stamped in. From there, they're routed over to their accountant, and then they're routed over to contracts, and then they're brought back to AP. And then for the accountant, that's to make sure that they have money in their account for their budget. For contracts, that's to make sure they're within their scope of duty or scope of work. And then after they approve it, the comptroller signs off on it to make sure that they've signed off on it, and then it goes back to AP. And then once the check is done, they send it over to Cheryl to stamp or me to sign, whichever depending on the amount. There's no timelines. So in the new manual that we worked on, there's a 24-hour time limit to ensure that it's released when it's supposed to be released. Because currently, sometimes it's at contracts for days. Sometimes it's with the accountant for days, especially if the accountant is on leave. Because the accountants are assigned different programs, and they're the only ones who work on those programs. So right now, or with the new change, everyone would have 24 hours to complete those vouchers and forward on to the next step. But there's a reason that they all sign off on them. It's not just because we want it to take longer, it's to ensure that we are within our means and our responsibility. So the scope of work is very important, and that's one thing that usually gets a lot of complaints, that contracts is holding vouchers. But if the request or expenditure is not within their scope of work, Olivia will not sign. And she will not allow her staff to sign either. Or she'll question it and talk to the director and tell them, you know, this isn't within your scope, and that's normally when they come to committee. So there's a reason for every step of the process, and that's to keep everything is in line. But with the new financial management manual, there is a 24-hour time limit for everything.
I think,
Oh, George had a question.
Thank you, Chip. That's what I was gonna say, there used to be a solid timeline, but you said 24 hours, that's good.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take no more longer than that. Another thing at contracts, they need to have some kind of business consultant there that knows about construction, buildings, all this stuff, because they really get a hold up there. I don't think none of them even lifted a hammer to know what the construction, the contractors go through, and for them to hold it up for their personal thought in their head, they think it's not, whatever. In all reality, everything's right there. But they need someone in there to streamline that process too, because that's a big holdup when it comes to paying these contractors and everybody else that does work. They hold up a lot of things based on their personal opinions whenever they don't know what needs to be done. They don't know. They probably don't think a house needs windows, for example, you know, and that's their opinion, when in all reality they do. So that's what I'm trying to say. They need someone that comes to these business ends that they have to pay people. They need someone in there to give that, if our legal could get in touch with them or something, because they hold up a lot of stuff that just needs to go right back out the door, and it's just frustrating that time, so thank you.
thank you. I mean, you hit it on the head, and I think that's what our directors need, is that timestamp. And that confidence knowing that when they submit it, they're gonna receive it right away.
There actually is a position for a construction specialist at the contracts office, but it hasn't been filled in years. They advertised like 4 times, nobody applied, and then I don't know why it was never advertised again. Then it did stop when they had the hiring freeze.
Can we inquire if there's funding available to be advertised?
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, construction specialist, and it was specifically because of a program that was held up because of misinformation from a person who used to work in the contracts office.
We kind of
So you'll bring that
track, and she's given her recommendations here.
Well, I think that was it. That's why, if you can bring that back, so that covers her request also.
Yeah, construction.
Yeah. Does
Madam
that
Chair,
help with that turnaround?
Or the turnaround time?
Yeah.
Madam Chair? Or Mr. Chair, I don't know who's chairing the committee.
Me neither.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
We don't know either, we're just sitting here.
So, the question was asked, where does it have a timeline in the
Financial management.
manual? And this is chapter 12 on accounts payable. And you can see it's got a section called policies and procedures for accounts payable vouchers. And at every step, it requires the next action to occur within 24 hours. So the program director submits the voucher to accounts payable. It will be transmitted to the accountant responsible for the program, who determines whether the program has sufficient funds within 24 hours, right here. The accountant will review the voucher and either notify the program of insufficient funds or forward it to the contracts office. Then the contracts office reviews the voucher to determine compliance with funding requirements, including whether the voucher is within the scope of work, whether the expense is allowable. Within 24 hours, they will either send an email to the program that it's not an allowable expenditure or forward it to the comptroller. Then the comptroller will review the voucher for completeness, accuracy, and compliance with all of the above procedures and internal controls. And within 24 hours, the comptroller will either send an electronic email to the program notifying them of some problem or forward it to the accounts payable department for payment. And then the full routing process will be completed for all accounts payable vouchers within 3 business days, not including the day the voucher is stamped received. So if it comes in on a Monday, that whole process should be completed by the Thursday, right? The 3 days, not including the Monday. And then checks will be released at 3 p.m. on the 3rd business day. So that's where there's an attempt to really speed up the process
How many do check, just
with specific time frames.
3 people.
3 people
Yeah,
are doing checks?
yeah.
Julie?
And this question is for Cora. Who's next in line if an accountant is on leave? Who signs in their place for that accountant?
Right now, for the last couple of months, because of the turnover, etc., the accountants have been able to review and follow each other's work. Like Ben usually signs for Pete when he's not there. Pete will sign for Ben. Linny will sign for Florence, or what's her name in the back? The IHS. Yeah, Shauna. Or Gilbert will work with Mary Jane, and Mary Jane can review all of them because she has access.
Okay, so at any given time, someone will be there in place to sign.
Yeah.
So I'm not leaving that. The other question was brought up. This timeline is similar to what's current because it doesn't include the requisitions and purchase time.
Right, this is just the accounts payable portion, and that's just where they make the checks. The requisition is a totally separate process.
Property supply.
Okay.
And Tony did speak with them that they need to also have their purchase orders out within 24 hours of submitting a requisition, a complete requisition.
Okay, and that's going to be addressed in here as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, continue on, Steve.
Okay, so I wanted to just go through the written comments. So this was read no red clouds. For requisitions and purchase orders, I do think that we have addressed the voucher, the accounts payable vouchers, but for requisitions and purchase orders, I think there has to be a similar process of evaluating whether there are sufficient funds, whether it's an allowable expense. And I think it's an identical time frame to the one that we just looked at. Do you agree, Cora?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make sure that identical time frame for the APDs is included for purchase orders. Is there a difference between requisitions and purchase orders, or is that just two parts of the same process?
The requisition is the beginning and the purchase order is the end.
Right, okay.
So I have a question on that. Steve, this is Sonia.
Yeah,
I guess we're saying 24 hours with that too? with the requisitions, so we get the POs back to the program directors in a timely manner, because they need those purchase orders in order to do business for their programs. And I do know that some say they don't get them back right away. They have to wait for those purchase orders.
They won't get them back within 24 hours, but they will get them back within 3 days under this process.
Under this
because
new process.
There are at least 3 steps that have to be met, and each one takes at least 24 hours. Now, there may be cases where, and we have to be honest, there may be cases where being accurate is more important than being fast, especially if it's a questionable cost and you're risking getting a disallowed cost ruling. So, you know, they have to have the ability to get legal input if they need it to determine whether a cost is allowable.
So maybe that language should be put in there, what you just stated. If
Yeah.
I not get that
Okay.
requisition back within 24 hours because of what you just mentioned, so our directors understand that, well, we covered it right here because we think that there might be some questionable cost on whatever they're submitting for.
So, and I agree with that, and I do think that if a legal opinion is required, it may take more than 3 total days, obviously. But it shouldn't just be it shouldn't be used as like an excuse for delay. It should be only if there's a real bona fide need for a legal opinion and a request is made for an opinion, you know, so they should request the legal opinion. But I'll tell you, like on the ARPA money, I would much rather see us get necessary legal opinions than not get them and just pay things quickly. Because if you're too fast, then you're going to make mistakes and you're going to end up owing money.
Yes, Steve, I think that in order to avoid all these delays, there's got to be a process in there for directors to go meet with contracts prior to, you know, spending or getting the okay, so that wouldn't be held up in the future.
It's in there.
Well, some of them may.
But can't they do that? Is there any prohibition?
I don't think so, because if I wanted to go spend something as a director and I want to make sure I'm following within my scope, I would go check with contracts first and then go through the process, saying, getting the okay, saying, hey, yeah, that is allowable. That way you'd be avoiding that holdup. I mean, you see what I mean?
Right, I do.
So, Steve, I believe it's in there, we had to confirm that, but in order to ensure that it does read that in there, because that was another concern that was brought up, that directors need to be a part of the contracts, grants and contracts meeting. And I believe we verified that, but can you confirm that it's already in there?
Yeah. So, what is the specific question? Is it this one right here from Reno about what is the grants committee, or what is your question?
So, the grant, in his question, he said, what is the grants committee? So when the grants committee meets, the directors should be a part of that meeting. Are they notified? Is it spelled out that they should be notified when the grants committee meets? Was that along the lines you were bringing up?
No, grants committee meets for specific things that it has to go through grants committee. I'm talking about expenditures. When you're sending a voucher through for something, I would want to talk with my grants, with contracts to say, hey, is this am I meeting my scope of work, if I spend this? What's, you know, I don't see a problem with them going directly and working with contracts office to avoid getting it held up like this, sitting somewhere. I mean, it's just common sense for a director to just kind of get that out of the way and not be held up in the future.
That's actually normally what several directors do. They'll go talk to their accountant, and then they'll go visit with contracts, and then they'll submit their voucher. Because I don't think that needs to be a process in the financial management manual. That should be general knowledge or common sense. And for the grants committee, whenever there's an issue with a specific program, they invite that director to come explain. So, but I don't think that needs to be in the financial management manual either.
But I guess in the same lines of what we're discussing, Steve, is I've heard contracts also mention that we don't have the budget in the system. I heard that from Olivia. She says, we don't have their budget in the system. So again, I think if they had a budget that was approved by their funding agency, and they put it in their system of contracts, then when these directors are going over there and saying, is this okay? I mean, to me, that's just a daily routine of business. A director would be asking the contracts, you know, people. So as long as the contracts has a approved budget in their system, like Olivia was wanting, because a lot of times she said they don't have a budget in the system. So she could look at it and say, oh yeah, you guys are approved for that under this, your budget. So I think that we should make that part of that process is that I don't know where we need to put it in there, but that they should have an approved budget, you know, in the contracts office, so that they know that it is in their scope of work to purchase that item or, you know, just do their work.
Okay. And also, I want to say this on the timeline, if you can hear me, that it's 24 hours to make a decision at each of those steps. And if it's uncertain whether an expenditure is allowable, then I think within the 24 hours, the contracts office would just deny it and send it to legal for an opinion. So this is not a system where every expenditure or every voucher is automatically approved within 3 days. It's just that the review has to keep going. It can't just be stalled for days or weeks. But there must be pressure to make a decision, but if the decision is we don't have enough information, we need more information, then that would result in a denial, and then it could just be resubmitted with the required information. This manual does not have anything in it about a grants committee. There's no mention of that in here, but it does talk about a grants review team. And so I hope that we're talking about the same thing. And it is comprised of the treasurer, the chair of the finance committee or vice chair, chief of staff, comptroller, compliance officer, and program directors selected to review proposals and applications. So program directors are selected to participate in the grants review team. And I think I'm sharing that on the screen right now.
Steve?
Yeah.
We actually don't utilize a grants review team. because every committee approves or denies the grants that are applied for.
You mean a standing committee does that?
Yeah, their oversight committee, they approve all of their grants that are applied for.
Should we take that out?
Well then, how do you make sure that when a grant creates a new position, that the salary level is consistent with existing salary scales? I mean, where does that work get done?
That's the grants committee on Wednesdays. They deal with all the personnel action stuff and the budget mods and award letters. That includes the job descriptions.
So then, do you need a grants review team in the financial management manual?
I don't think you do because they go through their standing committees for approval.
We need to probably take that out, because like Cora said, grants committee is who approves all of that.
We don't approve grants.
I know, but you guys look at it, you guys,
Yeah, we do the budgets and the personnel
yeah.
action and the job descriptions.
Thank you, Sheriff. In the past, I had spoken up about that grants committee, and I think it is, like, the issue I had was that me sitting in a circle and this over time, I thought that the grants committee wasn't coordinating with the finance committee as they should, because stuff would always spring up, and they'd always be doing stuff on their own. And I remember in the past, that's why I wanted someone within the circle to sit on the grants committee, or review team, or how many teams they are. But regardless, somebody from the finance committee should be sitting on there, just to come back and brief the committee. And then, you know, I'm just getting a couple texts from some of these directors out there, and I have a feeling, and I feel the same way too. Sometimes the grants committee overrides directors and tribal council committee actions. So, and Steve, is that what you're bringing up? That's what you think we should feel, that we should have a review board?
No, I don't have an opinion. It's just that this was in the manual, the grants review team. And what I'm being told is that there is no such thing anymore, that we don't use it, and that it's the standing committees that approve grant applications. But I do have a question. If, let's say a program is under the land committee and they authorize a grant application, would that also, and let's say there's a matching requirement or other obligations that the tribe would have under the grant, would that also have to go to the finance committee, or is it just the standing committee only?
Honestly, it should go to the finance committee if there's a matching requirement, because they need to show that they have the ability to match. Or if they're going to obligate the tribe, they need to have approval from the finance committee, because nobody can obligate the tribe on their own.
So what I would recommend is that we, since you don't actually have a grants review team, that we take out all references to that grants review team in this draft. And I think it's in here a few different times. And that the only thing that we say that grant applications, grant or contract applications are to be approved by the oversight standing committee. And if the grant or contract obligates tribal funds, that it would also have to be approved by finance. And then, of course, all of these things would then go to the tribal council or the executive committee if they're under the XP threshold.
I think that sounds good.
Okay. So I can take care of that. I'm going to put Reno's comments back up here, just to make sure we go through them. He says, what about the OST MIP system for paperless checks? Can we come to program debit, credit cards someday, etc.? I guess I'll defer to Cora or someone else in the room about that.
I guess, what's his name, Chuck, is working on starting the wireless AP. He was supposed to be working on training with the larger programs. I'm not sure where that is, honestly. But I think that because of our audit cycle and we have all of our processes listed, maybe eventually the credit debit card, but I don't think that's a good situation right now.
Yeah, after Julie. Go ahead, Julie.
Thank you. I think that's something we should discuss with the programs that are high priority. I mean, we know they're all high priority, but there's programs who do have daily operational needs that can't go through that process. And if they're submitting it wirelessly, then why aren't they allowed to have program cards specifically to that program? And there be a budget for it, and their expenditures are reported along with that. All it is a process reversed using their credit card.
Okay, these are recommendations from IT. These just came in today.
Hold on, Steve.
Closeout procedures. The comment is, this isn't being done to close out contracts. As a result, carryover monies were not identified. No audits during the affected year may have also impacted the ability to carry over year to year. I'm not sure what the recommendation is on this.
I think, Steve, that was one of my closeout procedures. To my knowledge, that hasn't been implemented. As a director, I guess I wasn't aware of these procedures. As a result, currently I'm working backwards from 2019 forward to identify carryover because this procedure wasn't done. And I don't know if other directors have come across this event, so I think that it really needs to be done within our system so we can identify carryover. And I think the audit, because there was no audits at that time, we could not close out our contracts. And 425s were not done. So that affected this whole process of closing out contracts. I wanted to back up a little bit regarding the transfers. Currently, I have a college ASU that will not accept paper checks. So that's my question now is, how do we do that process? And I'm anticipating that more colleges will not accept paper checks. So what's that process going to be? I'm concerned now because right now we have a summer student that is attending one of these colleges that does not accept paper checks.
Yes.
And I think that's why the credit card comes into play. If the program that's such as Ms. Bluebird's requires that type of payment, and that cap is on that credit card, and they provide their expenditure, it's in reverse, and they are given, the director is given a time limit to return in their purchase documents.
So is there somewhere in this financial management manual, Steve, about the credit card? Because the tribe does have, I don't know how many credit cards do we have, Cora? Just one? One credit card. And sometimes we need to ask the treasurer to do certain things with requests or whatever that might come up. And I know a lot of times they charge for bus tickets or things like that when we have a district member or tribal member somewhere stranded, wants to come back, or somewhere from the hospital got discharged. So I don't know if there's a policy on that credit card, just because we know that we're kind of really got into some a situation a couple years ago on our credit card. And so I really want to make sure that if we can look at the financial management manual in reference to our credit card, we should think about what program director is saying here, Ms. Bluebird, about they don't want to accept tribes paper checks. We might have to go a different route to help that student, because I do know that even if Cora paid it out of the credit card, then she has to take it back out of somewhere sometimes to get it reimbursed back. And I know I had to do that a couple times because of someone that needed to come back, credit on a bus ticket, whatever, and if we had assistance, we would just reimburse it back to that credit card. So maybe we need to work something out like that for these kind of situations, like what Ms. Bluebird just brought up.
Can I just interject here?
Yeah.
And maybe the treasurer knows, would that be the kind of thing where we could use a wire transfer?
Even that.
Currently, Steve, if there's a situation like that where someone doesn't accept a check, even at like Walmart and Sam's Club, we do work with the directors to make their purchases for them, and they pay the Visa account back through a check. So it wouldn't be a wire transfer, but like if we have to buy a bus ticket, they only accept credit or debit cards. When we pay our travel agency, it's only with the debit card. And anyway, there's several situations like that we do work with the program directors on, because we do not have a policy. And the only people who are authorized to use the credit card in our office right now is myself, or Cheryl, or Jen. So that way we have someone there all the time to do the payments.
So I think that's probably safer than, but I don't know. But I think if FAO makes a credit card payment on behalf of a program, that does provide a bit of control there, instead of having programs have their own credit cards.
Right.
Question, is there at least 2 people that are approving that transaction?
Yes.
Okay, and that way we know there's some safeguards there.
Right.
But also, we're talking about wire transfer, that's another issue I think we need to cover.
That's already in here.
Yeah, we need to
That's
make
already
sure
addressed.
we tighten that up too, because I think we ran into that issue. But back to the credit card, excuse me, I think we should have, we need to have something in there, so that way when we're coming across these issues, like what Ms. Bluebird is saying, we should be able to have that program work with the treasurer to pay for somebody's educational cost and then get reimbursed back from the higher education program. But something like that, we need to kind of make sure we understand that. So that if she goes up there and says, well, the student, I need to pay for this, then we just make sure that it's not gonna be held up or anything because the agreement, we understand is gonna happen, because it'll get reimbursed back. But with my question to Debbie is, Ms. Bluebird, would the funding agency allow that? Would they allow for that to happen?
I'm not sure if it would be the funding agency, but the school did email a portal if we were to submit the scholarship through the school.
Yeah.
So I forwarded that on to Cora and Tony. There's a process that they can use. It's a scholarship submission portal, but it's directly to our financial office to submit those funds for that student. So I don't know if that's a way to go either, through their portal, that school.
Okay, so could that be maybe looked at or worked out with I'm sure on our part, we can probably work on it. It probably won't be a problem, Cora, but I think the reimbursement part is what maybe Debbie needs to find out. Because if we have to go this route because we're not going to accept a check, then the tribe can pay for it this way, but then can I reimburse it back? We'll have to reimburse it back to the tribe.
I don't think it would be a problem because she's a BIA program.
Okay,
And that's a payment that she would have to make anyway. So
okay,
instead of making it to them, if she has the receipt that we pay, then it should just process like a regular payment.
oh, okay, so it could be done internally then?
Right.
Okay, all right, that'd be good.
So we can electronically send a payment to that school for that student?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Good.
Okay, Steve?
Hold on 1 second, please. On the screen, the methods of payment, and I think we can add credit card payment right here.
Yeah.
You see that?
It's a debit card, actually. It's not a credit card.
Okay, and then, okay. Okay. This is, again, I think from IT. But I don't know if this is from IT. Is this from higher ed?
Yeah.
Who submitted these comments?
Like all about procedures and stuff.
Okay, thank you. They say that for higher ed, there have been voided checks that are accounted for in the CUP accounts, but do not appear as credits to the program account through the monthly general ledger or other documents. How is that being handled? I'll let the treasurer answer that.
What do you mean?
Okay, so, like say, we process some checks and the student decides not to attend or withdraws, so the check is voided. And so in our CUP account, we make a note of that, but when it comes to, I guess, accounts payable, how is that process where does she communicate with the accountant to credit that back to our program?
She does it herself. Whenever she voids it in the system, then it, like your debit is what you pay, the credit goes back in. So it goes back into your program budget. So if you get an expenditure report, it's on the right side.
Yeah, that's what we weren't seeing, and it came to a lot of, I guess of a big amount that we couldn't see on our general ledger.
You should meet with your accountant and ask them to go through it. If you have a list of your voided checks,
Yes.
then bring those and make sure that they're fixed.
Okay.
That's why the reconciliations are so important. Right, they should be happening, I keep saying monthly,
not
but
6 months.
they need to happen.
And I think we have done that, but it still didn't show up in our ledgers, general ledgers, so that's kind of the concern we had. How does that process work?
Okay, because when you reconcile, then you guys need to show each other what you have. So that way they know if they need to take something out, because they can find that check in the system. And they can find, if they can't find it in the system, they can look at records and pull it out, and it should show that it was voided.
And back in our account?
Yeah.
You know, in the same lines of what Debbie is saying, on the tribal side, when we void checks out, council, take it up to revenue, they give you that form, and you fill it out, and then you put your account number, CL, whatever IN, they'll put that on there, and then I turn the check back in. So I asked Bob, does this go back into my line item? And he said, yeah, it goes back in there because you put your account on there. So they get a copy of the check and the whatever. And so I guess as council, we could do the same thing.
Right.
Look at our monthly ledger to see if they did put that back in there.
Right.
That's the same thing as what I think she's saying too, but on the program side,
Yes.
they got to make sure that it went back into their whatever line item it came out of.
Okay.
You know, so I guess that's the piece I was making sure of too on the tribal side.
Yeah.
But that's the
As
revenue.
a sentence, the amount of a voided check shall appear as a credit in the general ledger of the account from which the check was issued.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, transfers, we talked about this one, travel. For off-reservation travel, the suggestion is mileage allowance at the coach fare of a commercial airline, even if the employee opts to drive a personal vehicle with the cost of gasoline. This should receive consideration. I think that if someone drives, they would be paid mileage, they would not be paid gasoline. If they fly, then they would be paid for their airfare. The only time I've considered airfare together with mileage is that, let's say someone drives to California and the mileage ends up being $1,000, but the airfare would have been $500. And then a rental car while you're there, maybe another $200. The employee should not be able to bill mileage at $1,000 when there would have been a cheaper method of travel. So I'm not really sure what this recommendation is. You know, if the mileage would be $200, but the airfare would be $500, I don't think we can pay the $500. I think we would just pay the actual mileage. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my, one of my recommendations, I guess, is to get airfare, say, which I got from Albuquerque, you get an airfare of, say, 500 versus the mileage. But with the cost of gas, you still get the airfare rate, whether you drive or fly. But if you opt to drive, you should be able to get the mileage, like you said. But now it's written where you get the lesser amount, which would be the airfare.
That is the way it should be. You should get the lesser amount.
And with the price of gasoline, that's what I was just saying to reconsider.
I'm not sure that, I don't know if the treasurer disagrees, but I think paying either the lesser of mileage or the cost of commercial travel. But I don't think you can pay the greater of those. You pay the lesser of them.
Right, and the travel lady has been watching the rates because of the gas prices, so. And I believe that is a GSA policy, that's why she follows it, the lesser of mileage or airfare.
I think it's due to the federal funding.
Right.
Right.
Okay, the next question is, can programs use other travel agencies? I don't know, do we even use, do we use a travel agency?
Yeah, there's two of ours.
Oh, we had our own.
We were using two separate agencies, one was a local guy and one was out of Rapid City, but the local guy was non-responsive for a while, so our travel department has been utilizing the Rapid City business.
I don't see anything in the manual that restricts a program's ability to use any particular travel agency.
There was actually a resolution.
Yeah,
With-
this is Georgette. There was a resolution that designated him as the primary agency. And so that was done by resolution, not through the financial management manual. If he's not responsive and you all don't want to use him anymore, we may want to, rescind that resolution just for cleanup, but the resolution designated him as the primary.
Okay, yeah, so it's not in here. That seems like that's an issue separate from the manual itself, but maybe the council can take that up. Can the travel specialist notify the appropriate program director if changes or amendments are made to a travel authorization prior to forwarding to the next department for processing? Cora?
That was just a issue that we came across a few times where the TAs were submitted and changes were made without our knowledge. So we just wanted like a courtesy email or even a phone call.
And the changes are usually on the airfare and mileage. If the airfare is less, then they move the mileage down to the airfare. That's usually what the changes are. Oh, and the quarters?
Okay, so I don't know if there's a recommendation for any change to the manual on that. But I'll move on.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be in the manual.
Okay, Jake Little submitted 17 pages of comments. I don't know if he is on the meeting.
They allowed it, it's going down to get 14,000 for tickets.
I'll put them on. Some of them are rewrites, like complete rewrites of sections. So this is section 1-1-1 purpose. And I guess I should ask Lynn, did these recommendations go out to the committee members?
Yes, we have a copy of them.
I feel like this section 1-1-1 purpose is fine. I don't have a problem with it, but again, you are the legislators. So it's really up to you whether you want to include this language.
What does it have to do with the treaties?
If it would help to move things along, again, I think it's perfectly fine to have this language in.
Tomorrow.
Right here.
Yeah.
I gotta take off, man. What do you guys think?
Say it again?
What do you think?
What?
I have two copies, I don't know which one is Jake's, and the one in the packet, or
The one in
this
the
one they
packet.
handed out.
The one in the packet, you go with?
Yeah, and then I didn't even read the second one. I received that this afternoon, but Steve said that's for the personnel policies, so just disregard that one.
Okay,
So we,
just the one in the packet.
yeah.
What I would say, I'm happy to go through all 17 pages with you.
Sure.
Some of them amend sections that are very short in the manual as it is. For example, this section 1-1. Hold on, let me stop sharing. Let me share my whole desktop. Can you see my whole?
Lynn, did we
computer
have
now?
copies of these before or no?
You see on the left?
These amendments that
Yeah,
you
they're in the
wanted?
packet.
Okay. No, I mean, did we get them like at a prior meeting? Because I wasn't here for a while.
Yeah, but
No,
you
these, they gave them another week,
for director.
the directors, so this is what we received.
No, but that's what I'm saying is we didn't see the director's stuff just today.
Not today,
Just today.
I've seen it.
Can we extend them into review? Because if he has 17 pages, how much directors submitted?
I think 6,
That's all?
yeah.
Can check.
Budget.
If only 6 directors submitted, my concern is that we're leaving out the input from, there was a lot of directors that came forth from the different committees. So I'd be curious where, if their input is being involved in this, because this is just the IT.
There were only 5, I think you're counting Jake Little twice. So I have comments from 5 program directors. But I also thought that program directors were invited to come to this meeting. And so,
We gotta let them know they're on Zoom.
it's your process. But I'm happy to go through all of the comments. We've gone through 4 of them so far, and then Jake Little's is the 5th one. and we can go through this one now.
How many more pages are you about on?
Said there's 17 pages.
Lynn, are there any comments in the chat from Zoom, from our directors?
Yeah, but.
I know at the bottom where it says chat.
Could we give it one more week?
Wow,
What are the comments from them?
I only saw the email on Tuesday.
Well, can I ask the chair, what is your goal? Is your goal to have this on the council agenda for May?
Yeah, pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
for May?
I think that sounds good. So, I mean, it's May 7th right now, so if you want to give
Another week?
program directors another week, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
At some point, you.
And then
you know,
maybe we could
wanna have
review
all
the
these
17
things,
pages from
just have to
Jacob.
kind of finalize it and move it on.
Yeah,
So, another week then?
yeah, another week. So could we stop right there and give it another week?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Yeah, or let's see,
Okay, so motion by Garfield, second by Sonia to have another week with the directors to go over it and review.
Yeah.
Could you just,
Okay.
could you just make sure that, they get notice of that? Like, maybe by noon tomorrow?
Yeah, last week, Dakota notified them right after the finance meeting.
Okay, well, we can do that too. Someone said they didn't find out about it until Tuesday. Maybe that's when they checked their email, but if we do our part and let them know right away, that would be good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he did send an email out, he was tagging me in it, in all the responses, that's how I got all these, and then I would send them directly to you, Steve.
Yeah, right, and I have 5.
There should be final, somebody put on his final, say final, and
Yeah.
final input or something.
Yeah, one final notice or something, huh?
That's what, I think it was Norman last week said that. This will be our final one, he said.
The last final one.
The final.
All right, one more week then, okay. Dave Kelly,
You said he'll be back.
Garfield Steel,
Yep.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears. Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston, 5 yes, 1 not voting.
Madam Chair, do you wanna table the Jake Little comments until
Yeah.
next week, or do you wanna go through them
No,
today?
we'll go through next week.
That's included
That's included.
with the motion.
Jake wrote a book.
Okay, so
Jake
that
wrote
one's
the
done.
whole manual, huh?
I know Jake is a whole bit.
Jake, you wrote the manual.
So are we finished now, and then we'll do everything next week?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll take up the Jake Little comments next week. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And if I receive any more, I will send them straight to you. Again, all right.
All right, thank you, committee.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, moving on then. Sonia asked for the resolutions for the bank from the 80s?
Yeah, we got that given to us, and it sounded like, looked like, they also did some, executive board did something after that, and they, in reference to the, Native American Day. So,
Yeah.
and that was the XD resolution. And I think that, we should just have Native First National Bank as our central depository and making everyone utilize the, First National Bank. I think we should, that should be up to the tribe. But right now, look at, we're using Native American Bank, and then now Cora's telling us we're gonna use this other bank in Rapid City to transfer those funds over there. So we're gonna probably have to do another resolution to allow for that. So I think we should just rescind this one here, 80-41. We shouldn't just keep it to First National Bank. Motion to have the attorney draft a resolution and forward to council for designating First National Bank as the only bank we're going to use for central depository. I think that we just want to rescind that. Just keep it open to the tribe to make that decision.
And the districts.
And the districts. So that's my motion.
There's some districts right now who utilize Article 6 and use a different thing.
Really?
Yeah, security
It's
first.
up to the districts now to make that decision. But
And then Security First has a mobile
And do
bank.
you want to put how that bank will be chosen? Like, do you want it to be approved by council, or how do we decide, like, for rescinding that?
I think it should be finance or executive board.
what is that?
She's saying, what if they wanted to approve a bank? Or like, what's the process to approve a bank for
Oh,
like
yeah.
districts or others?
Yeah, it usually comes to finance committee, and I think we usually send it to XB or council, whichever one.
Yeah, because
Okay,
Yeah.
all
But
right.
this one here, we just want to rescind it because it kind of leaves it like we have to stay with First National Bank.
So would that include the districts too? They gotta come to finance?
That's what they just said. I thought.
Well, how did they do it?
well, the districts should be able to utilize their executive boards.
To make that
Their
Yeah,
funds,
big-
not the
yeah.
tribal funds, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kyle uses Martin's.
right.
And
We want,
in our district, we want to move our Salazar's to another bank to get more
interest.
interest. This one don't pay nothing.
Pay nothing, just First
3%.
National Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes nothing. So don't hold us to just using that. They don't even sponsor us. But that'd be my motion.
Garfield seconded.
Second, oh,
Yep, Garfield second.
Dave Kelly? Garfield Still?
No.
George Jimmer Jr.?
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear?
Yep,
Jackie Sears?
uh-huh.
Don Ray Bolsberg?
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder?
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston? 7 yes, 1 not moving.
Okay, so moving on to legal opinions. Sonia, Kaplan?
We just need to, I guess, the legal opinion, I was looking for the email. Maybe Jackie has it available there, but we just need an email on the special diabetes program. And as you know, we've been kind of going to DC to try to get the money drawn down for the special diabetes program, but each time we have gone there, they did mention that they want all of our audits up to date, complete before they draw the money down. And the money is sitting there. And then we met with the BIA assistant to the secretary, and he also told us that we would probably need to meet Because the question that came up, Cora, was that if we could utilize the tribe in opening the special diabetes program with maybe 2 or 3 employees and then reimburse it back with the special diabetes money. But he said, well, you would need to talk to the director with IHS, which is Mr. Amiat. So we did have a meeting with Mr. Amiat last month, and he also said he would go back and with Mr. Davis, and they were going to look into what they could do. Well, that was a meeting they had a couple days ago. Was that a couple days ago? And we didn't work a part of the meeting, but they met with the president's office, and Stephanie Starr is the one that informed us about it. But it was too late by the time we could get on, it was already done. So they are basically asking that we should get an opinion from our attorney based on what we're trying to do on the question that IHS is asking, saying get a legal opinion.
Or hear from the auditor.
Or hear from the auditor.
Yeah.
So that's why we're bringing it here to the finance, to see if we could just get a legal opinion from the attorney, one of the attorneys, I don't know. I think before we had Jennifer working with us on it, so I don't know if we should refer to just the legal office to get a legal opinion. They could maybe assign it to Jennifer, but that's what we needed, was just a legal opinion on it. So that would be my motion, to get a legal opinion.
Second.
And bring it back next week, if we have to, bring it back.
Question.
Go ahead.
A legal opinion on if the tribe can support it, or?
It's to say that if it's up to the tribe, I guess, to make sure that if we happen to fund them for a period of time, that the diabetes program funding can reimburse the tribe so that it's allowable, so it's not going to affect any audit findings or anything like that.
Oh,
If
okay,
it's legal,
so,
yeah.
so they would have to find out from the funding
Yeah.
agency.
The funding agency said it's up to us as a tribe that we have to work internally to see if it's allowable and it's not going to be an audit finding.
So we want an
Okay.
opinion on
Yeah.
that.
So where are you proposing that the money comes from?
That, we don't know yet, but we just want the opinion, and then we're going to seek the, whatever we can, if it's
We'll
possible.
come back to finance with it.
So they're just wanting to know if it's allowable under our financial policies?
Yes.
Yes.
Just
I
trying to
echo that.
clarify the question. Sorry.
And we can have Stephanie get you the information, because they met with them. And she would, I was hoping she would have a write-up for us, but all she said was we needed that. So I can have Stephanie contact you from the
Okay,
president's
or
office.
Jennifer, if it's assigned to Jennifer, but yeah. we can
Okay.
get that information.
Okay. Garfield Steele,
Yep.
George Streamer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Don Ray Goldsberry,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Uh,
7 yes, 1 not voting.
Okay, next, Carla had a legal opinion, or requesting legal opinion.
Yeah, I was requesting a legal opinion from the legal office regarding the tax revenue from the marijuana sales. Because the way that we understood it with Bob was that it loses its identity when it's paid to the tribe as a tax. And the way the marijuana commission keeps saying it is that it is marijuana revenue no matter what. So I'm requesting a legal opinion because I personally believe that as a legal entity that's licensed and regulated by the Oglala Sioux tribe and legalized by ordinance, that the tax revenue is tax revenue and not marijuana revenue. So I am requesting a motion to send that to the legal department for an opinion.
Question?
Yeah, I could do legally, a question to maybe that's why we need the legal opinion is, then why didn't Gordon First National Bank take our money?
Because that previously, the Safe Banking Act says that any revenue made by any government is allowed to be banked in a bank if it falls under state regulation and is regulated by the state. It didn't say anything specifically about tribes. But there's a new memo that came out that allows for tribes to have their own marijuana industries. And that's why the banks in Rapid City are now open, for us. Because we have state regulations and they recognize our sovereignty, that we're allowed to make our own laws on the reservation.
That's the opinion you want from the attorneys?
I want them to find out what is legal.
Okay.
Garfield?
And you remember one of the ED&D meetings, they said that this was, and it was out of Bob's own mouth, that it was a tax from the consumer.
Right.
So it is a tax. But I'll second the motion if no one did.
Julie, did you motion that?
I did.
Okay, and then second.
Okay. Garfield Steele,
Yep.
George Schumer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears, Don Ray Goldsberry,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Ha,
7 yes, 1 not voting.
Okay, next, Little Big One.
Okay, they handed out everyone the request. My motion is to, are we still forwarding around the Cora?
What request?
I gave it, copy to
Our
her. Yeah,
request.
that's it.
It's for that concert from that Terrence Little, Terrence Holloway's putting on. But he did get money for, the travel and the lodging. He's asking for money to pay for the artist. Now, those of you that been around, you seen the concerts he put on, he brought a lot of good artists here and got a lot of people together, so he's capable of putting these on and maintaining it. We've had, I don't know how much concerts we had in one of these so far, probably about 4 with our Little Bighorn celebration. So this is just another one. But anyway, like I said, if requests are going over to them for approval, then I'll make a motion that way. I'm gonna make a motion to approve and forward on over to the marijuana commission. Because that's what the ordinance says. That it gets approved by finance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Julianne.
Garfield Steele,
Yeah.
George Schumer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears, Don Ray Goldsberry,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Not voting.
5 yes, 3 not voting.
Okay, moving on. Youth camp.
Thank you, Chair. So you should all have a copy of the Techa wo Apie Wichoti. And after speaking with my Luchi, Miss Ironclad, I asked if she had a list of enrolled members, if basically a write-up in the request. And we're requesting $15,000 to be approved to send to marijuana because it does fund our youth. It's a youth healing camp from the ages of 0 to 15. Last year they had a camp and it equated up to 60 registered. They brought their siblings, their parents, and grandparents to view. So in total, the participation could end up to between up to 150 to 160. So I'm requesting our motion to approve and send to Marijuana Commission for funding.
Okay, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Sonia?
No, I'm just gonna say I wanna change my vote on that other issue, on the other item to yes. I'll change my vote.
Okay.
So that would be 6 yes, 2 not. And this one, okay. Motion second. Garfield Still,
Yeah.
George Streamer Jr.,
Yes.
Sue-Ann Spotty Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Spears,
Not voting.
Don Ray Ghost Bear,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yeah.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh,
6 yes, 2 not voting.
Sonia?
Thank you.
you know, we just need to keep in mind that we will have other assistants are gonna come to us. And I think we need to take those into consideration as well. We have a 150th requests that are also gonna be coming. So I'm hoping that we keep that in mind too, because there is some things that were addressed with me on the 150th. And so I think that when those come to us, then I think we need to keep those in mind. I think we have other assistants that we had to kind of move to the marijuana commission. I don't know if they approved them, but we have the upcoming powwows that are gonna happen, and those are gonna be coming to us. So we better just know to have an open mind about those too. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Rafael?
Yeah, and, I thank Sonia for those words, because I've always supported everyone's endeavors. So I want to thank you guys for supporting my issue today, and I just got a text from Terrence, and he's very appreciative for the committee. Everyone's welcome to come on the celebration day and send your people out. Thank you.
Chair, I would also like to invite the council, the committee to attend the last day because it's really ceremonial and it's special. And it's just a welcoming and warm feeling when you're out there. Thank you.
I did send that flyer out to people that I think, would really maybe benefit from it too. So if we can send it out to people that we think that might benefit from this, because it is a very healing, we say.
What's next?
Okay, moving on. Cub?
Bond and match.
Maybe we'll go and make copies.
Oh, yeah, that's, then,
You wanna give a little explanation?
Sure. So, bought this Ford a couple times and, sat down and, made chats around some numbers. We came up with some prices that, would need for seed, alfalfa, and, one piece of equipment. It's a puncher. You roll it, it punches holes in the ground. And it's just the price, guys know, and I just wanna make this clear, I don't wanna be charged no money, no checks, there's nothing's coming to me. I'm just trying to move this forward and trying to get this into an office. I don't want no money, nothing, no checks, making that clear now. So I'm just trying to move this forward, get the tribe going, and try to produce more revenue. So we could just look at it and let's move it forward and try to create an office or get this underneath somewhere, get it going. Ranch and farm our own land, you guys, I mean, man, them ranchers and them farmers that have been doing it for decades are millionaires off our cheap land.
This will be a tribal one, right?
Yeah, it's a new tribal entity, so, and you know, it's just something that we should have done a long time ago, so. And that's just, we have some numbers there, and just want to get some committee input on where we should try to move it, or create an office, or, I think we, well, was we supposed to get Chaga stuff here too?
Or we're supposed to, I thought that was at EMBD.
I can't remember,
I think it was EMBD we requested,
So that
chocolate.
might be tomorrow, okay,
You know, I need someone to request it because they're still on there, because I've been requesting them to be on.
okay, so we have to,
Because
that's Angie, tomorrow, Thursday. But, Lindy, Lynn has them, it's just past month, that's just some numbers we came up with for just equipment and, see.
Hold on, Julie.
You know, I just want to say that this is the type of work we should be doing as a committee and as a council, because we have quality land, and a few of my relatives who do raise cattle, the industry is moving towards organic, and we have the most organic land, and so it benefits us in the long run, but it also keeps in line with what's happening in today's times off the reservation. So this I'd like to see, because this is what we should be doing, and I'd like to second his motion after further discussion.
I have a question.
And I just want to finish up one thing, and you know, it's just start off small with a small pilot project, and just go on from there and just try to get bigger and bigger and get securing more of our ag leases, and you know, let's just get it educated on you guys. I mean, people will buy hay, alfalfa all day. That's just a simple seed too, and a simple process too. Thank you.
What's on it?
So, I know you're saying you're not asking for money or whatever, but you're gonna need equipment and all of this. So, my question.
I don't want to be charged no money, I'm not getting the money, I'm just proposing the money and getting
Towards
to
that.
our director or office where we can
Okay.
start moving
So,
forward.
I was just thinking about we just talked with him earlier, the CKP insurance. I do know that he said that you could utilize the funds for like fencing and different type of things like that for it. So maybe just to keep that in mind, you know, once we get the balance of our payment, I think that's something that, just something to maybe think about, that you could utilize that for some of the stuff that you're needing to start up whatever the farm and ranch. And is it still gonna be held out there on Coney Table, or did you guys find a place for it?
We was looking more towards, up there towards Rainbow Valley or something, where it's kind of a little bit more sub-irrigated than that. Because out there is gonna be we didn't get too much rain, so that's why I was looking for more land in the basement area to see if there was some, and I think we found a couple pieces. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna go out there because it's too dry this year. Or you know, this, if we don't get it going this year, we can get it going and get the process started for next spring too, also. But it's still early enough where we might be able to get something going. Some seed around.
You know, I'm 100% behind, bringing in, additional revenues to the tribe, and, I don't know, I mean, Cub, if we have more land identified, you know, I think we should just go at it right now, instead of, the smaller portion. Because man, when it's wintertime, we're we don't have revenue for electricity or propane. I mean, there's a million reasons why we need to do a lot of these projects. So I think we should, see what other lands are available. Remember Craig identified, I think it was 160 acres or a little bit more, Corey, remember? Out towards, Lake Creek area,
On the
or,
other side of Murray.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said that was feasible to grow.
That's some prime land.
And I think they were considering hemp at the time. This was some years back, maybe 5, 6 years back. But I think we should try to see, as much as we can get. Instead of doing 160 acres ain't too much. I mean, we got a lot of land, and I think we should maybe shoot for whatever we could. So with this, do we have a budget? You said a director?
Well, no, we didn't get no director, nothing, but I was thinking, we might be able to take a look at a child and see what we could do there. I know we just talked about maybe re-advertising and see if we get different people in there. Or we could go ahead and create an office, but that just takes a little bit more money too.
Well, I think my concern with that is, Cora, if we do anything with Oglala, we only get 50%, right?
Right.
The tribe's only gonna get 50% of the revenue. And at this moment, I think we need to find,
Get all of it.
yeah, something that's gonna be bringing in revenue and then the tribe receiving all of it. So I'm 100% behind it, whatever you guys decide, but I think we should, you should bring back, the rest of the plan with the office and whatnot, and who it's gonna be under and all of that stuff. How much that's gonna cost and where we're gonna get that money, but I'm 100% behind it. I'm looking at a director right now. Yeah, those nuts.
Well, with that being said, I think what we could do, Garth, and the committee, as a committee, is that, I could bring something back with the director and stuff, and maybe we could get it from the CKP. Are we get some of that soon, Cora? Some of that money?
Check your email.
Okay, okay, all right, I'll look at my email after this, and then we could start identifying some tracts of land. And I don't know, might have to come down to land committee action. I don't know if we want to start taking ag leases from non-members, or, because I don't know if there's too much land open anymore, but we could take a look. But if not, we might have to start taking a look, Garth, and you guys, just might have to start taking ag leases from non-members. So that, and I'm for that, because probably when the non-members that got them, they probably had them for decades anyway, so I guess I'll do that and go through land committee. Yeah, just tribal land, not deed or nothing like that, just tribal tracts. Well, I just,
Back to the plan, that budget.
yeah, well, the prices are here for the equipment, the seed, but I didn't do the director or anything like that.
Well,
But
big that back.
I could bring
I
that
think,
up
I
too.
think you should submit a complete.
Yeah.
Go back to land committee?
Does it have to go to land committee, I think?
I think it should go to ED&D.
Or ED&D tomorrow? You can come back with that.
Okay, all right. Well, could I get a motion for the DVD, yes?
What?
We're motion maker.
Motion.
I think we should have a motion to approve the plan and to forward on to ED&D and then bring your, whatever.
Are you gonna be ready for tomorrow?
Well, I could present it and work
Well,
on it,
why don't we
and get it
just say
figured.
support it, and he brings all the
Yeah,
Okay, let's do
that
that.
would make sense.
support him, yeah,
A motion to support the plan
yeah.
Yep.
and to have Cubby bring back the, I guess the whole,
Package.
the package.
Sure. I'll get
The whole
a
budget?
director, like maybe 2 or 3 employees.
And then to forward it on to ED&D.
Motion.
Whatever.
Okay, Garfield, second by Dewey.
Yeah.
Garfield Steele,
Yep.
George Dreamer Jr.,
Yes.
Julianne Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Don Ray Ghost Bear,
Yes.
Blaine Little Thunder, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, 7 yes, 1 not voting.
All right, well, that's it, so,
Yum said he has a green thumb.
how you guys doing?
They used to call him alfalfa. That was his nickname in high school.
Adjournment motion.
Motion. We need somebody.
Second.
Hold on.